Welcome again, everyone, to the Rotary Club of Greenville. I'm Wade Colt, the club president. It is a real honor today with our guests. We had a mayor 2 weeks ago. We've got a governor this week. Our district governor, Joyce Morin, is with us, so that will be a treat for us. You're also going to have some special theatrics from me and Ryan Thackeray in a minute by our Rotary Club of Greenville players and a special performance drafted for this occasion. So having said that, I hope you got to know the people around your table a little bit better, and I'd like to invite Lucy Henry to come up to deliver our invocation and pledge.
Thank you, Wade. So it's so good to see everyone here today. And as we are towards the end of January, in the Christian church, we are still in the season of Epiphany, and many churches like to celebrate Epiphany by giving out star words. If any of you have experienced that, and it has become one of my favorite things to experience. But one of my favorite words that I have received through the years is the word gratitude. And when we think about the word gratitude, we think about Thanksgiving, and so often that is when we express thanks. But the truth is that the more we express gratitude and the more that we are aware and mindful of the things that we are grateful for in our lives, the happier we are. So let us pause and give thanks. Creator God, we pause for this day and give thanks for all those who are gathered here, for District Governor Joyce, who is here with us, for the service that all of these members are committed to furthering the work of Rotary and to help those in Greenville. Lord, for those who have prepared our food and served it. And Lord, for our families, our friends, and those that are around us, we give thanks. Lord, may we forever be mindful of all the things that we are grateful for. Amen. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Sarvis, and I'd like to welcome our guests today. So when I call your name, please stand, remain standing, and then we'll recognize everyone when we complete the list. And let me just go ahead and say, please forgive me if I butcher your name. I have a hard time pronouncing my own sometimes. But we'll start with our Assistant District Governor, Dave Brenner, who's a guest of the club. Robert Sweatman is a guest of Amy Wood. Is Robert here? Ingrid Versu. Is that close? Ingrid is a guest of Connie Lanzel. Nadir Jalil is a guest of the club. Amelia Garga, all right, is a guest of the club. Tim Conrad is a guest of George Fletcher. Mary Pat Fairchild is a guest of Mary Brenner. Scott McKeever is a guest of the club. Beth Bandy is a guest of the club. And John Clayton, hey John, is a guest of the club. Let's give them a warm Rotary welcome.
All right, aside from the district governor, now it's the moment you've been waiting for, the theatrics today. So here's what the theatrics are about. You remember my challenge. Getting those 3 stickers requires getting someone to discover Rotary. And quite a few Rotarians have told me at times, I just don't know if I can ask somebody, how do I do that? How do I go about it? Ryan Thackeray are going to give you some demonstrations of various scenes that we think would play this out so that you'll know what to do. But this is all about these new cards, which Jenny has printed out and which are available right beside the check-in desk. They are a business-sized card, and they are for you to take, not to leave, not to walk out of this meeting and forget about them, for you to take. They have a QR code on them. Hand them out just like you would a business card. When Rotary comes up in conversation, naturally, as it does with all good Rotarians, and you see a potential member, hand this card out. And if you're like me, you go through those cards every week or two or every month or so, pulls them out. You have to scan it in. It takes you right to the place that you need to get to for signing up for Discover Rotary. And that's how we just tell our Rotary story. And we think this will be very helpful for you as you seize that opportunity to get your 3 sticker and bring some new folks into this club. So I want you to think about that opportunity. Take some of these cards today, and then we are going to act out a few scenes for you where we show you how easy it is to tell people about Rotary. So,
is that you, man?
oh, Ryan, it's been years since I've seen you.
Since high school, man. What are you up to?
Oh, I'm just sitting here waiting to get my oil changed. Nothing really to do.
Getting your oil changed. Well, wait, let me tell you, man. I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Greenville. We meet the second and fourth Tuesday of each month at the Weston Poinsett downtown. You know what's right down the road from the Weston? W.N. Watson Tire Note. They have a great oil change over there. You can drop your car off, get your oil change, and come to Rotary and have a great lunch and hear a great speaker and learn how to have good fellowship.
That sounds fabulous, Ryan. Thank you for telling me about it. Is there any, like, do you have a card or anything?
Get out of here, man. Come on, you're all set, Wade. Great to see you again.
Good to see you.
Yeah, absolutely. Wait, is that you, Wade?
Ryan,
Man,
is this high school?
at this one, is it that time we got reprimanded for protesting out front of City Hall for trying to get the Reedy River to turn to a lazy river, complete with inner tubes and water slide?
That was a great idea.
I know, I thought it worked. That was a good idea, too. Well, what's been going on, man?
You know, I just started my own business, moved back to Greenville after a few years away, but it's funny, I need a lot of people to help me get this business started. Don't know a lawyer, don't know an architect, don't know an engineer. Where can I meet people like that, do you think?
Man, funny you bring that up, Wade. I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Greenville, and we meet the second and fourth Tuesday of each month at the Weston Poinsett for lunch program. We have loads of service opportunities. And if there's one thing we also have loads of, it's architects, lawyers, and engineers here at the Rotary Club. So you have a great opportunity to do some business networking and meet some folks. And here, man, I got a card for you. You just got to scan this QR code. And to learn more about Discover Rotary, come check out a meeting
I
sometime.
appreciate that. I'm going to follow up on that.
Thanks, Wade. Good seeing you again. I can't remember my name. Holy smokes! Wade, oh, is that you? That's right. Gosh, you're gonna, oh,
Do you have a beer?
I just did the beer here recently. I thought, you know, it's going to go well with, remember that business we're going to open up, that landscaping business called Our Goats, Your Grass?
Ooh, that was a bad idea.
I am glad that one did not come to fruition.
Well, I still ran into you. I have my own nonprofit now, and I enjoy doing things about its mission, but I'd really like to get involved in some other ways in the community, do some other things.
Yeah, I would say, well, I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Greenville, and, you know, I'm a nonprofit guy, too. And, yeah, I get it. You always get in your own mission. You're working for one. But the thing I love about being a member of the Rotary Club of Greenville is we have loads of service opportunities on a variety of different fronts. So you really get a chance to step outside your own organization's mission and dabble in some other things, learn about some other important areas of service in the community. I would love for you to come check it out. We meet the second and fourth Tuesday of each month in Weston Poinsett.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I'm going to follow up on that.
Well, listen, man, here's a card. I just got to scan the QR code, and that's all you need to do here. Wait, Cole, is that you, man?
Yeah, Ryan.
I don't think I've seen you since that time we thought it'd be funny to put bubbles in the fountains out front of the Peace Center.
Yeah, that was not wise. I'm glad we got it.
Well, what's going on, man?
Nothing. I just got a boring lunch. I bought my PJs and sit here on the park bench by myself and eat lunch.
A man like you with your stature wearing a suit and a PB and J, that's not good. I'll tell you what, man, you got to come check out a Rotary Club of Greenville meeting. We meet the second and fourth Tuesday of each month. You're going to hear from great speakers, loads of service opportunities. My personal favorite part, You're gonna get the chicken or the fish twice a month in the Western Point State. You can toss that PB&J in the trash, my friend.
Oh, that sounds nice. Those meals over there are good. I've been to Spoon Bread. I know that baby,
They do a quality job. Now, here's my pro tip. When you come to Rotary Club of Greenville for lunch, always get your dessert before you sit down. And all of a sudden, you sit down, you don't have your dessert, the meeting starts, and you're out of a fine dessert. So come check out a Rotary Club of Greenville meeting, get the chicken or the fish, and make sure you get dessert before you sit back down. I'll tell you, I got a card here for you, man. All you gotta do is just scan this QR code. You'll learn more.
thanks, man. Good to see you.
All right, good seeing you too, Wade. Excellent.
Now, now you know exactly how it's done. And after that bit of chaos, I would like to invite our Assistant District Governor, Dave Brenner, up. This is a tough act to follow, literally, to introduce our District Governor.
You didn't tell me I'd have to follow that act, but I wish I'd have heard that before I got the meal, or I would have gotten some dessert. But unfortunately, I didn't. I heard that and I missed out on the dessert. Anyway, it's my honor to be here to introduce the district governor to you, and it's great to see so many people out, and always look forward to coming to this club. But let me tell you a little bit about Joyce. She's a lifelong, or not a lifelong Rotarian. She's a lifelong Boston Red Sox fan, and that's really a problem because I'm a lifelong Yankees fan, but I have tended to ignore that flaw in her personality. But anyway, she grew up near Fenway Park, which is why she's a Boston Red Sox fan. I guess she told me that she and her brothers used to sneak in there and see a lot of Boston Red Sox games. So that's a good thing. But anyway, she's a graduate of the University of Massachusetts in English. She spent 35 years in the insurance business. She got started in Rotary in a place called Brattleboro, Vermont, where they were starting a breakfast club, or a sunrise club. I think it's Brattleboro Sunrise. So she was a charter member of that club, and that was in 1994, I believe, something along those lines. And she was club president of that club, and then she ended up moving to Lancaster, South Carolina. She became the executive director of the Habitat Humanity in Lancaster. She moved down there to be closer to family, and that was, I think, around 2004. And so a few years later, she got the Rotary bug again. She joined the Greenville Lancaster, or excuse me, the Lancaster Club, Rotary Club of Lancaster. Became a club president there as well. Became Rotarian of the Year for the Lancaster Rotary Club, and then served as assistant governor for several years. She's a supporter of the foundation. Beth will be glad to hear that. She's somewhere here. I saw her earlier, and it's a major donor and a member of the Paul Harris Society. So those are the facts. Other than that you probably knew already, other than the fact that she's a Red Sox fan. But let me tell you, having got to know Joyce over the last several years, I can tell you that she's a dedicated Rotarian. She fully believes in service above self. She's very dedicated and very concerned and wants to make our district one of the best districts around. She's certainly willing and wants to help all Rotary clubs, including the Rotary Club of Greenville, be successful this year and grow. So forget about the fact that she's a Boston Red Sox fan, and please, Greenville Rotarians, welcome your district governor, Joyce Morin.
Thank you, Dave, I think. Hello, Greenville Rotary Club. I have been going around the district, and we have 49 clubs and 3 very active satellite clubs, and you are visit number 51. There's something about saving the best for last, but don't tell on me on that. So holy cow, Ryan and Wade are here. Somebody told me a couple years ago you're supposed to change the oil in your car. Can you recommend a place? Okay. Thank you for that. I want to really bring greetings to you from Rotary International President Jennifer Jones, who is traveling about the world. She's not able to meet all 47,000 clubs, but she's doing her darndest to get into places where she can really be of help, be visible, and encourage folks to go about the excellent work that they're doing in the world. I'd like to acknowledge as I begin here that I have some of my mentors in the room. And some of my mentors include Jim Puryear here and Beth Paget, who is not just past district governor, but also our district finance chair. Well, it's money, right? The Rotary Foundation chair. Sorry about that. George Fletcher. I did not see George. Is George here? There he is. Hi, George. Hi, George. And Terry Weaver, who is the guru of everything I've ever needed to know. Thank you, Terry, on that. I also appreciate that our assistant governor is here, Dave Brenner. Dave is one smart, capable cookie, always ready to help, always there for you, and part of the massive help team that is available for you, your use at any time for any issue. Dave, of course, is now in the district governor leadership line. He will be coming in as your district governor in 25, 26, I believe. So welcome to you. I had an opportunity to go around and shake some hands and smile at some folks and share a couple of moments. Didn't get to everybody, but I really appreciate the fact that there are so many guests in the room. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you have joined with us to learn a little bit about what's going on in Rotary today, to fellowship with us, and to see if this isn't something that maybe can help you achieve some of your dreams. You know, Rotary is a very, very personal thing. It's personal and it's powerful. It's personal because every single Rotarian is critical to the success of their club. Every single Rotarian has the ability to make a difference in the world around them and also in the world a little bit beyond our shores. So I thank you for each one of you for your efforts, for what you're doing. This club began in 1916. And if we think for a moment and we take statistics out of the story and we take categories out of the story and just think about people, think of the number of people, because of all those who came before us and your work today, who were not hungry, who were warm instead of being cold, who had opportunities for education, who had opportunities for job growth, who enjoyed many of the splendors of the world around us because we do things like park benches and beautification projects and so forth. It is legion. We just sometimes, I think, disconnect from the people side of it because, you know, we're people with hearts for service. We go out, we look around, we find the things that we think need to be doing, and we get it done, by golly. And we hope the outcome is good. We just always need to remember that the outcome, that's making somebody's life better. Each one of you does that. I thank you for what it is that you're doing. You know, I've been issuing a challenge to every club as I've visited around the district this year for each member to take a moment and just pause. Do it now, do it on the drive home, do it during a commercial break tonight. Ask yourself, what was it that attracted me to Rotary to begin with? Why did I stay? Why am I here now? What do I hope to have for the future? And then re-engage, re-engage. Every one of us travels in a different set of circles, right? We have different family circles, neighborhoods, we go to different houses of worship, we shop in different places, we have different hobbies, different sports teams. We forgive the folks who are the Yankee fans and we just move on, you know, from there on that. But we're all coming into contact with situations and people. So I'm asking you, as you are going about living your life here in the Greenville area, to please be alert. Be alert to what you see going around you. You will most likely uncover a need that someone hasn't recognized yet. And if you see that need and you think that it is actionable, that there is something that we can pool our time, our talents, and so forth, and our efforts and our energies together and try to address it, please bring that information back to your club leadership. Now, the time may not be right to act on it at that moment. It may be something that you need to work on a couple years down the road or something. But if we don't speak up, then we'll keep doing the same things. And I'm sure that they are good and you have done wonderful things, but we'll miss other opportunities for ways to help people and to re-energize ourselves. So please pay attention to what's going on around you. And as you're doing that, I have a particular request. And that request is keep your eyes peeled for the people you see who are getting things done. There are people out there who are making things happen. They don't happen to be Rotarians, but they're getting it done. They're the ones who are saving the Little League. They're the ones who are getting that church project through to the finish line. They're the ones who see something that needs to be done. We need more crossing guards somewhere, somehow. And give it a thought. Think about what it takes to be a Rotarian. What it takes to be a Rotarian is to have a heart for service, to want to help make someone else's life better, to be engaged, to be willing to put your time, your talent, and whatever part of your treasure you can part with, okay, towards the common good. Because those are the folks that we need. It makes sense as we go along that we want to have strong clubs. Strong clubs have growing membership. They grow in knowledge. The individual members grow in knowledge of what Rotary is, what it's all about, and then you start to figure out what it can do, right? And then you put it into action. You do that. We're looking for folks who you feel would be assets to your club. And we're not looking for folks so that we can get a bar graph to go thicker or higher or some chart to do something. We're not looking for statistics. More Rotarians mean more friends. We have a good time together. We enjoy one another. We learn from each other. We energize each other. There's a reason why you're here today, because you enjoy it and you are glad to be part of something as important as what Rotary is. So remember that it's time to extend our gift, our handout to others, and invite them to just check us out and see what we're all about. And it really is as simple. We don't have to have some big formal script. All we really need to do is pay attention to somebody that we think would be a good Rotarian and then start telling them about why we are and why we're glad we are. Invite them to be on a project, to help with a fundraiser. Let them get their hands dirty and actually go home at the end of the day and feel like they've made a difference to a person and they've had a chance to hang out with Rotarians and so forth. So extend the gift of Rotary by all means. We all know how important and how valuable it is. I have asked your club board to please conduct a survey. Oh boy, another survey. But what I'm asking them to do is to reach out to each individual member so that you have the opportunity for them to just make your voices heard about what it is that you're doing that you like the best. What do you wish you could do more? Is there something perhaps we could tweak? I love my club. I would rejoin my club. You know, somebody's not going to like food except here. This food's fabulous. Okay. But the idea is to bring it back and let your club leadership, which is very critical on a club of this size, start to understand patterns and see if they've overlooked anything and if there's a way in which the club as a whole can be responsive to the satisfaction level, the experience that each of you have. I am convinced that Rotary is all about connections and experiences. I think that as time has gone along, we sometimes, especially when things are going well for us, we see ourselves in our unit. We might know what's going on in our own backyard, but we don't necessarily feel connected to Rotarians in other places. Well, I'm here to tell you that what each and every one of you does, the money that you contribute, each and every one of you, to the Rotary Foundation, which is our funding mechanism for doing lots of good in the world and by which, of course, we get our matching funds for district grants and so forth back from. Every time you do that, you are helping someone in another part of the district. Every time we go out and about on our Kringle Village, at Alexander Elementary, if we're doing anything out in the community, Rotary is being judged by us. Our behavior, our integrity, our reputation, how effective we are, and why people who want to get things done would want to hang out and be with us so that they can get things done and they can make their dreams come true too. And you know, when you do that and you're careful and you present that well, and they do the same thing in Walhalla, and they do the same thing in Lancaster, and the same thing in Lawrence, we all benefit, right? By that. We are the club to join. We are the #1, the best, most effective member service organization in the world. For some reason, we seem to be a secret. We don't need to be a secret. We could be sharing that information with some folks and inviting them in to help us out. How important is an individual member? Well, I invite you to think of two things in particular. One is the Polio Plus program. 4 billion children inoculated, this close to finishing out this awful disease, eradicating it. It started with one person out in the Philippines, I think, Terry, who made up his mind. He had come across, in experience, okay, he had come across a crawler. Someone afflicted with a disease who was down in the dirt, could only get along by crawling and live by begging, and had to just live in the dirt by the good graces of others. And he said, we can stop this. I know we can stop this. He thought in terms of the Philippines, got people together, time, talent, whatever, mission, people were committed, right? Got the interest, figured out the infrastructure that was needed to start getting that done in the Philippines. And the next thing you know, it was a good idea. And other people wanted to do it also. So now we're 35 years later, we have partnered with organizations, with governments, I mean, big time things, and we're getting it done. And it started with one person. By the way, of all of the partners who have had to play a part in this, and that includes UNICEF, World Health Organization, governments, Bill Gates Foundation, and so forth, they're all transactional. They've all, they're all in the game on a sort of renewable cycle on that. Rotarians are the only group who made a promise to the children of the world that they were going to eradicate this disease, and we will see it through to the end. And so every time you've had a pint for polio or you've done something for that, I thank you for that, because you have personally made a difference. The CART Fund, Coins for Alzheimer's Research Trust. Alzheimer's is a hideous disease. Every one of us have had contact somehow, whether it's family or friends or neighbors. And if we can just get to figuring out what the heck it is, right? Well, one person in Sumter said, you know what, we can just start collecting money. And that's how those blue buckets came about on the table. Pocket change, and then pocket change turned to cash instead of coins and so forth. People started doing fundraisers. We have given out millions of dollars of 100% towards research for this. It happened with one person. It can happen with each one of you if you have something. Most likely, you're going to have something more localized that you come up with, but it's there. The power of Rotary is that you have at your fingertips a major toolkit to be used. That toolkit includes human resources. You have district people who want to stand on their heads to help you in whatever way it is that you need help. You have people who work at the zone level. You have, and it goes on up and up. There are online courses, there are templates, there's PI stuff, PR stuff, marketing stuff. There are connections that you can make with people who may have tried to do what it is you're attempting. And how much value is there in not only knowing ways that things can work, but also what to avoid, right? On that, it's there. We have Rotary action groups where you can join with people from all over the world. If you have a particular area of interest, veterans causes, education, sex trafficking, whatever it is, the environment, you can join together with some folks and talk about doing projects and partnering with others. We have fellowships. We have a wonderful fellow who comes to visit us sometimes and helps us talk about at membership summits named Chris Jones. He's a past district governor from North Carolina, and he's in a couple of fellowships. One is the motorcycle fellowship. The other is the whiskey fellowship. And I just said, please go to the motorcycle one before you go to the whiskey one. We'll probably be all okay on that. But there are ways to connect, and that's the point. Now, how are you also connected to these other clubs? You're not just connected by how we all behave and by the reputation we build and what we're able to get from that, but we can share ideas. We share ideas through making sure that we're diligent about letting our district chairs know what we're doing so that our community services chair, Pam, has a list of the 87 things you've done this year instead of 3 on that. Because somebody out in the district is asking, I'd like to do something, but I don't know what. Do you have any ideas? We do it by being on social media. We do it by being together at district events. And here's what I say to you about the district events. When you go to a membership workshop, when you go to foundation training, when you will all come to Columbia the last weekend in April for the district conference, right? Where we're going to have one whale of a time and great speakers. People learn from you. You have a good time, you enjoy yourself, you get a lot out of it, you learn from the speakers, but it's also those tabletop conversations, those hallway conversations, the one on the way to the car in the parking lot, where you're really exchanging ideas. And it's easy to figure that, yeah, we can go and we can learn, but what we forget is that other people learn from us too. And I say to the newbies in the room, you are just as critical as these wonderful folks who've been here for 50 years because you have ideas and you have energy, you have things that you can do, you have things that you can offer to this club to really get things moving and make things happen. So I encourage you to engage. There's a role for everybody. You know, it doesn't matter if you're past the point where you dig the gardens or you can flip the hamburgers. You know, there's plenty of sage advice that could be passed around. Institutional wisdom. And also just plain, there's nothing wrong with imagination. Jennifer Jones's theme for the year is Imagine Rotary. I love that. I love it because we can take it and use it, right, for what fits us in our area. I am going about the district giving permission slips to every Rotarian to go ahead and think innovatively, think with imagination. We're at a marvelous point in Rotary International right now. We probably had change that was building and occurring and whatnot just naturally before the pandemic occurred. But when that shutdown hit, we all had to figure out how to do things we'd never thought we'd have to do before. If you can't go anywhere, how do you stay connected with your people? If you can't do that 5K race, if you can't hold that blood drive, what can you do? Well, after we all got over the shock, we all figured it out. We figured out how to reach people. We figured out this hybrid business. We figured out that you can drop things off for the EMS people who were overworked, that you contact the Meals on Wheels people who were being slammed, right? Because, you know, their need for their services went up like that immediately. And that's when you start asking questions like Rotarians do and find out that this one needs more warming ovens and that one needs more refrigeration. We adapt, and that's what we're all about. We're adapting to our needs right here. The experiences that we have can be life-changing. They have to do with satisfaction, right? And I ask you, do you ever feel better about yourself than when you're helping someone else? Probably not. And we have the opportunity to do it here in so many ways. You know, I'm also encouraging clubs to collaborate with one another. I'm going to give you a story about how important it is about sharing information. Now, I need to do a follow-up on this with the 2 club presidents, but earlier in the year, I was visiting the Greenville City Center Club, and we were having our board meeting, and they were telling me about things that lots and lots and lots of projects they do. And one of the things that they funded with their district grant was to have a mentoring, tutoring program for foster care kids. Think about this. They're bounced all over the place. You know, there are gaps, right, in their education. So they decided that was something that they could address. Well, I shared that story when I went to Gaffney a couple months later. They meet at Limestone College. When it was over with, the president of the college is a Rotarian. He came up to me, handed me his card and said, please, please put me in touch with that club because we just got a $2 million endowment for scholarships for people in just that very situation. We've had our first student come, and we're just even learning how to deal with that constituency. That student showed up the first day of class and had spent his last dollar on an Uber to get there. That's how badly he wanted an education. When we had that cold snap in the fall, they realized, because they were paying attention, he was in shirt sleeves, they got him a coat. They figured out transportation for him to get there. Thanksgiving was coming up, and by then they realized, see, he'd aged out of this family system now, and what are the kind of personal needs needed to succeed at school. They arranged for him to go to Thanksgiving somewhere. But that's one club doing, that's, if we could only do better at just sharing our stories and trading information, and you do that by being together and by letting your district chairs know what you're doing and so forth. Please be open to new partnerships. Don't think that you only have to do things the same way. You can partner with other clubs on everything. You don't lose your identity. You don't lose your personality. You don't any of that. You just find ways to get that energy level up higher and higher and higher because it's collaboration. So as part of the Rotary family, I'm going to give you a couple of quick stories about some things that are going on around the district, and you all have a part in it. First of all, the Honduras folks, the trip is back on to get down to Honduras for the water projects in March. We have a few days left if anybody still wants to sign up for that. And I can tell you that because of your contributions, every person in this room has bought some pipe to bring clean water down to those villages. And besides the clean water, which lessens disease, it means girls can go to school because they don't have to be fetching that water 2 miles away. You've all had a part in that. We still have our project going, our agricultural project going in Haiti with the goats. Goats are like gold down there because they produce milk. You can drink the milk, you can make cheese and eat the cheese. You can sell the milk, you can sell the cheese. So the families are given a pair of goats. At the end of the year, the baby goat goes back into the system. It self-perpetuates itself. You've all bought a goat. Go home and tell your family, I bought a goat because you bought a goat on something like that. In Seneca, we're in contact. The beauty of Rotary is ground up. In Seneca, they figured out that the Parks and Recreation Department allows you to rent boats to go out on the lake. And of course, they have life jackets. Well, somebody rented a boat, looked at the life jackets, and I guess basically said, ew. And so they're using part of their grant money to replace all of those life jackets in the boats. Who's that going to help? The one who needs it, right? On that. We have in Clover. Clover's not a big club. Clover is rural, but Clover is helping to underwrite teaching something like 350, I don't know, a ton of third graders how to swim at the YMCA. Everybody's got a different story about what's needed in their area. That's what's so wonderful about Rotary, right? We're all right in touch with it. We're only in touch with it if every member's engaged and we're all paying attention to what's out there. We bring that back to the clubs, and then we're willing to go ahead and act on it. You have been acting and doing wonderful things since 1916. This is every club's important. This is a very important club. You have so much to be proud of. You stand on the shoulders of others who've been doing this work before you, and you are bringing in new folks. You're inviting them. I ask you to please welcome them, work with them, engage them, getting them busy. See that, newbies? You're going to go to work. You're going to be doing things, and we're all going to be better for it. So thank you for who you are. Thank you for wanting to be part of Rotary, the finest member service organization, the most effective member service organization in the world. Thank you for bringing your time, your talents, your treasure. You're wonderful. Thank you.
I'm going to set a goal for foundation giving in the club, and I can't decide whether the goal would be that Ryan and I will perform another skit or Ryan and I will not perform another skit. So that remains to be seen. It is such a treat to have District Governor Joyce with us today. Thank you for being here. I am pleased to present to her as a little gift from our club 3 new Rotary benefactor cards. So thank you. And so I'll go ahead. And we will also, like all of our speakers, we will be donating a book to the Library of Alexander Elementary School. This month's book is Railway Jack, the true story of an amazing baboon. Don't know what it's about, but it sounds interesting. And we will get District Governor Joyce to sign this to the children of Alexander Elementary School. So thank you again for being with us. We heard about CART a little bit earlier, and I told Dave Carfelite that he would have a CART moment. So Dave, take it away.
Governor Joyce, thank you for the cash Alzheimer's Research Trust. I'd never heard that before instead of coins. But we have a habit here of recognizing a leading business or a leading member who agrees to match all the funds collected within a given month to put a additional kick, if you will, into the CART fund. And this month's leader is Sunny Hanna with Sun Trade Financial. Now, have you been looking at your 401k and comparing it to previous years? Perhaps you've weathered the financial planning storm of 2022 and are ready for another opinion. It's time to talk to Sunny. Sunny offers total financial needs through a network of experienced professionals with advisory services, retirement analysis, estate strategies, employee benefit and retention services, business continuation strategies, and trust services. Sunny has he has very few alliances. I've gone to him, he's not a stock guy, he's not an annuity guy, he's open to all kinds of tools to meet your needs. So make Sunny pay. Go ahead and pick up the bucket, make sure you put a couple bucks in there. Now, I have a historical announcement regarding CART. CART's been around, obviously, since the mid-'80s. In 1999, they had an event where they gave out $100,000 in grants. In 2000, they had a recognition banquet where they gave out over $1 million in grants, and frankly have given out about 11 million between that 99 figure and when COVID hit. But it always took place in Columbia or along the coast because this was obviously an effort that started out in District 7770 until this year. If you would put a note in your calendar that on May 1st, the CART recognition event where they bring the scientists together who are going to be receiving the grant for the upcoming year is going to take place here in Greenville. That's the first time it's leaving there. It's going to be at the Embassy Suites in Verde. The 3 to 5 organizations who will receive the funds and tell their stories. Could be an interesting event to go to. Now, Jim and I had phone calls from Tiffany Irvin, who runs CART now, and asked for a couple things. One thing we're going to talk to President Wade about, but one thing to think about, if Alzheimer's means something to you or it affected you and your family, they're looking for 5 volunteers to show these scientists the town of Greenville. Could be running them out to ICAR, BMW, the Music Museum, anything they're interested in. Could just be walking them across the Freedom Bridge and enjoying the waterfall. But if you're interested in that, please let Jim or I know, and we're going to get a group of people to do to take them out and make sure they get a good taste of Greenville at Tiffany's recommendation. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave. Yes, I agree. Make Sunny feel the pain. I see him over there sweating it out right now. Get out those dollars and even big bills. We take those too. Our next meeting will be on February the 14th. We'll be recognizing law enforcement officers of the year from the city of Greenville, the county of Greenville, and also our federal law enforcement agencies. And our special guest speaker will be Judge Marvin Quattlebaum of the United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit. So that's a big deal. I look forward, and you should too, to hearing from Judge Quattlebaum and recognizing those outstanding servants that make our community a safer place to be. So thank you again, District Governor Joyce, Assistant District Governor Dave Brenner, and a special welcome to our many guests here today. We hope you will join us in learning about Rotary and working to make our community and our world a better place. Thank you all for being here today, and if you would please stand and join me in the four-way test. With the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? We are adjourned.
Saturday? Staying out here Saturday night.
It's coming? Yeah, but that's still coming.
Yeah.
Not me yet. Oh, yeah. No, I know.